I am Dr. Gyanesh Madhukar Belekar, Professor and HOD, Department of General Surgery at Terna Medical College and Hospital, Nerul West, Navi Mumbai, is going to cover a topic of current scenario of research for you all. Specific Learning Objectives, SLOs. Define research. Describe the evolution of clinical research. Enumerate principles of research. Understand the types of research. Learn the steps of quality control in conducting the research. Know the literature search for research. Describe the importance of record keeping and archiving of research. Understand the importance of statistics in research. Learn data interpretation to elucidate the application of research methods to homeopathy and integrative medicine. Now, I will introduce to you what is research. Introduction. Research is broadly defined as a systematic path carried out to discover new knowledge, expand the existing knowledge base, solve given practical problems, and develop new products and services with better outcome. This session will help you understand why different research communities have different ideas about what is research and how to conduct it. Here, we will learn about the different assumptions that educate about informal, qualitative, quantitative, textual, and mixed type of research methods. As the basic context has to be very clear in your mind, now I will give you a little insight on the evolution of research and its fascinating journey in this slide. Evolution of clinical research. First successful streptomycin trial was conducted in 1947 in UK. The famous 1947 scurvy trial conducted by James Lind contained most elements of a controlled trial. The UK in 1943 was the first to undertake a double-blind controlled trial. This helped the first randomized controlled trial of streptomycin in pulmonary tuberculosis carried out in 1946 by MRC of the UK. This landmark trial was a model of meticulousness in design and implementation. It is with systematic enrollment criteria and data collection compared, which was the ad hoc nature of other contemporary research. It is very important to note that any research is always carried out in the ethical framework set up by the guiding authorities worldwide. In this slide, I will tell you about little history of ethics in research. Ethical aspects. The ethical dilemmas can be understood through various examples of clinical trials conducted in the past. The ethical advances in human protection include several milestones: Nuremberg Code, Declaration of Helsinki, Belmont Report, and 1996 International Conference on Harmonization Good Clinical Practice, that is ICH GCP guidance. In parallel to ethical guidelines, clinical trials started to become integral part in regulation as government authorities began recognizing a need for controlling medical therapies in the early 20th century. As the scientific advances continue to occur, there will be new ethical and regulatory challenges which may need dynamic updates in ethical and legal framework of clinical trials. Principles of research. Four cardinal principles are honored in clinical research related activities as below. 1. Autonomy. 2. Non-maleficence. 3. Beneficence. 4. Justice. These four basic principles form four pillars of modern bioethical research around the world. Now, these are the four cardinal principles of research which we will learn in more details in subsequent four slides. Through these four slides, you will learn the intricate fabric of ethical framework one must follow and honor. This slide tells us the importance of autonomy And what is it? Autonomy. The first principle of autonomy tells us to respect all human beings and take their opinion into consideration while doing any research on them or subjecting them for any trial or, for that matter, in treating them also. It means taking an informed consent from that individual. You treat that individual only after they take appropriate choice, autonomous decision about their health willingly after explaining to them all pros and cons of your study. Without this, above mentioned activities should not be conducted. This slide tells us about non maleficence and its importance. Non maleficence. The second principle of non maleficence, in simple word, means do no harm. There were few unethical trials conducted in medical field in the past in America and in India too that violated all these four cardinal principles, and all the participating people were harmed by those studies which were later got abandoned. The study cannot be done by harming the individuals by either act of commission or omission. This slide tells us about beneficence and what it is. Beneficence. The third principle of beneficence means the researcher will pass on all the benefits available to their subjects or participating people without any discrimination and will not hold back any specific benefit willingly. In the infamous the Tuskegee study, all the benefits were withheld willingly from the participating people who were eventually harmed by the study. It is sometimes held that non-maleficence is a constant duty, that is, one ought never to harm another individual, whereas beneficence is a limited duty. This slide tells us about what are distributive justice and its importance. Justice. The last and most important principle of justice tells us that in healthcare, justice is usually defined as a form of fairness, or, as Aristotle once said, giving to each that which is his due. This implies the fair distribution of medicines in society and requires that we look at the role of entitlement. One needs to plan the distribution of medicines for the given population only after properly calculating the available resources and also make additional provision of it. This slide clarifies the research in various categories depending upon its nature, purpose, and research design and data type. Types of research methodology can be of different categories. General category can be quantitative or qualitative, depending on the nature of study, descriptive or analytical, depending on the purpose of the study, applied or fundamental, depending on the design, exploratory or conclusive, and depending on the data available, primary research or secondary research. This slide tells you about the hierarchy of research one carries. It starts with basic non-human trials and then proceeds to writing case reports, the case series. Later one conducts observational studies. Then interventional studies carry more meaning. Then one goes for systematic reviews and finally to meta-analysis of various worldwide studies in methodical manner. Hierarchy of research or pyramid. Initially, we start with non-human studies, that is animal studies, in vitro studies, cell cultures. Later on, we move on to observational studies, cohort studies, case control studies, cross-sectional studies. Later on, we move on to intervention studies, randomized controlled trials, other clinical trials, and finally, meta-analysis and systematic review. This slide tells us about again various types of research depending upon the application, objectives, and type of information sought. Types of research. Types of research from viewpoint of application, objectives, and type of information sought. From application point of view, pure research or applied research, depending on objectives, It can be experimental and other types. And type of information sought, it can be quantitative or qualitative. This slide tells us about two basic types of research studies widely carried out and discussed in various meetings, conferences, and are of great value. Here, in a table manner, we will learn each important aspect of both types of research. Main two categories: comparison of qualitative and quantitative research. Quantitative: purpose to study relationship, cause and effect, while qualitative to examine a phenomenon as it in rich detail. In quantitative, the design is developed prior to study, while in qualitative, flexible evolves during the study. In quantitative, the approach is deductive, tests theory, while in qualitative, it is inductive, may generate a theory. Tools for quantitative uses pre-selected instruments, while for qualitative, the researcher is primary data collection tool. Sample uses large samples in quantitative, while qualitative uses small samples. The analysis in quantitative: statistical analysis of numeric data, and qualitative: narrative description and interpretation. This slide tells us about the important steps of formulating a good research design. All steps are in sequential manner are very crucial. Main steps in research design: establish priorities, data types, data collection, data analysis, and research proposal. This slide tells us about the basic element of research design and important milestones of it. Basic elements. Elements of research design are purpose statement, settings, techniques, timeline, methodology, measurement, objections, and analysis method. Now, next important tool in any research is statistical analysis of the gathered data. Unless you analyze the received data, the research will be of helpful and will not be able to tell you what is the actual implication and significance of it. This slide tells us about various types of statistical analysis available. Statistics. There are various types of statistics that we use, such as inferential, descriptive. This slide tells us about the data cycle and its implications. The main purpose is to gather the data, analyze it, interpret it, and come to a solution of the problem at hand or earlier research question formed. Data cycle and importance. Data, knowledge, understanding, experiments. This cycle continues, which leads to solve problems and make decisions. So data: visualize the data, analyze with statistical models. With knowledge, interpret practical and statistical significance of results. Understanding, make scientifically sound decisions and communicate them. Experiments, design experiments to answer research question and control sources of variation, detect outliers. Thus, with the help of this cycle, we solve problems and make decisions. This slide tells us about the graphical understanding about statistics. We have a mean, median, and mode for the given data. Mean is arithmetical average of a given sample. Median is the middle point of data in given sample, and mode is the main pattern observed in the given data set. It needs additional lectures and time to learn more about these important aspects of statistics. Statistics through graphs. Standard normal distribution curve is shown in this particular graph. In this slide, we will learn the importance of statistics in various sectors. Importance of statistics: study of cause and effect analysis, formulation of economic theories, formulation of economic policies, achievement of economic equilibrium, inter-sector analysis. This slide tells us about the application of research and its importance. Various fields are immensely benefited through research like health, industry, finance, pharmacy, and many more. Applications of research: environmental research, business research, medicinal tech, and medicine industry. This slide tells us about the possibility of integration of research in modern homeopathy and its usefulness. Integration. Now, here we are trying to bridge the gap between branch of homeopathy and modern medicine via such electives where the student is made aware about the intricacy of research and its application in homeopathy. Here, one is expected to carry out a fair research study based on needs of the society where both branches can contribute and will try to help give better health care delivery to patients in an integrated manner. One can conduct the qualitative research to achieve this target. These are few references which I have enlisted here. One can find numerous references online while reading more about current scenario in research. These are the references. This slide tells us about the important resource sites where one can learn about research and current scenario about it. Few are national and few are international. It is advised to read about it by visiting the library, but sometimes it is helpful to do it online or in hybrid mode. These are the resources such as National Medical Commission website, PubMed, ResearchGate, Medscape, Osmosis, Google Scholar, Healthline, ICMR School of Public Health, Quora, OSCE Diksha, and Shodhaganga. I would like to acknowledge these people and institutions for helping me making this PowerPoint presentation and topic a good learning experience for you all. Acknowledgements. Honorary VC Madam for her vision in initiating this collaborative effort. Dr. Sandeep Kadu, COE MUHS for his efforts to execute this new program. Dr. Payal Bansal, Chair Medical Education MUHS Nashik for her constant guidance in its interpretation. National Medical Commission for its technical support. Maharashtra University of Health Sciences MUHS Nashik for their resources and technical support. So, my dear students, I hope you have understood in this one session the basics of research and current scenarios in research. Usually it takes more than one session to understand all the intricate fabric of conducting research and to do it in a proper manner, following all ethical principles in a methodical manner, so it will be of helpful to the society and thus amalgamating both the knowledge of homeopathy stream as well as that of modern medicine for the betterment of healthcare delivery and society. So I urge you all to visit the libraries, go to the resources, try to read more about this information about various things, because the research is a very vast topic and it cannot be just abruptly summarized in one single session. I wish you all best for your future endeavors. Thank you.